Hello Year 9, Miss Boucher here. I'll be going through the Year 9 options sport PowerPoint with you today. Very excited to go through our sport option that we offer to you and that you can select as one of your options to study in Year 10. There's lots of information to give you today, so I'll be going through the slides with you. This slide is everything you will study during the 2 years on the sport option course. As you can see on the slide, there are 3 units you will study. The first being contemporary issues in sport, performance and leadership in sports activities, and sport in the media. Going up to the contemporary issues in sport, it's often said that sport is a reflection of society, and as such, many of the broad issues which affect society are also prevalent in sport. For the same reasons, sport can also be a force for good at local, national, and international levels because of its ability to bring people together. Within this unit, you will study issues which affect participation in sport, look at factors which can positively and negatively impact upon the popularity of certain sports in the UK, thinking about why some sports are more popular than others, the role of sporting values, the importance of etiquette and sporting behaviours, the use of performance-enhancing drugs and why some athletes take these, major sporting events, positive and negative effects on technology in sport, because we all like VAR, and NGBs. It's a really interesting unit to do, and you will take an exam in this in Year 11. The next one, performance and leadership in sports activities. Becoming an elite performer is a dream not everyone can realise, but many of those who are involved in sport and the sports industry are there because they developed an interest in sport and physical activity through performing. Whether it's voluntary or professional, the role of a sports leader is essential in any sport. Whether they take on the role of a coach, a manager, teacher, or team captain, sports leaders shape the development of sport by influencing and inspiring all of those around them to participate and perform in sporting activities. Within this unit, you will have the opportunity to develop a range of transferable skills. You'll work with others as part of a team, but also independently, including communicating with teammates, as well as being in front of an audience when you perform. You will perform under pressure in conditioned drills, both as a participant and as a leader, and you'll use your initiative to solve problems and make decisions, some of these perhaps including formations, tactics. You'll also deal with rapidly changing conditions and situations. This is done as part of a practical unit, so you will be assessed practically and not through a written exam. The last one, sport in the media. Sport uses media to promote itself, and in turn the media uses sport to sell its products. Opinions are moulded, role models created or rejected, and sports performers can be made into celebrities. However, the increased exposure of sports and performers may not always be a positive experience. Rapid development in technology is enabling sport to be viewed, replayed, and discussed whenever and wherever the spectator wishes. You will learn how this can be a good thing in some cases, but perhaps not such a good thing in others. Again, it's a really interesting unit to do, and this will be where you will complete various pieces of coursework. So what will you learn during the 2 years that you will take sport as an option? So for the contemporary issues in sport unit, which is the exam unit, you will learn about a range of topical and contemporary issues in sport relating to participation levels and barriers, promotion of values and ethical behaviour, the role of high-profile sporting events, the role of national governing bodies, and how technology is now used within sport. The second, performance and leadership in sports activities. In this unit, you will learn how to develop your skills both as a performer in 2 separate sporting activities and as a leader in one activity. As a leader, you will have the opportunity to plan, lead, and review safe and effective sporting activity sessions yourself. And the final, sport in the media. You will learn to explore both sides of media sources and apply real-life examples to demonstrate the nature of the relationship between the media and sport. You will develop your ability to evaluate and interpret the different ways sport is represented in the media. So how are you assessing the 2 years of the sport course? So the first unit, the exam unit, you will sit a 1 hour, 15-minute exam at the end of year 11. The reason it's at the end of year 11 is because of something called the terminal rule. This rule means that the exam must be the last piece of assessment which you complete as part of the course. It's out of 70 marks, and OCR set the exam, they send it to us, you sit the exam, we send it back to them, OCR is the exam board, and then they mark the exam. You will then receive the results of this in the August of year 11 alongside your final mark for the sport course. The practical unit consists of 5 separate tasks which you need to complete. Obviously these are practical tasks. It's out of 80 marks and it's centre assessed, which means the PE teacher will mark against the criteria and give you a grade, and then we send that grade off to OCR, the exam board, and they moderate and they have a look and check that that grade is correct and they agree with it. The coursework unit, the media and sport unit, that's 3 separate coursework tasks which you will need to complete. It's slightly less marks, so 40 marks available for this unit, and again it follows the same structure, so it's marked by the PE teacher and then we send it off to the exam board where they check and moderate the grade. So as you can see, the practical unit is worth the highest weighting, so there's 80 marks available, closely followed by the exam unit and then the coursework unit. All 3 marks, so 70, 80 and 40, will add together, and whatever mark you get in the exam, practical and coursework unit, that will give you your total mark for the course. So it's all combined together, so it's an accumulative score that you will get at the end of year 11. So it is really important that you do well in all of the 3 units. You don't just think, oh, practical is going to be my favourite, I'm going to get the best mark there. I don't like exams much, so I'm not going to try as hard in that one. It's really important you do well in all 3 to get the best possible mark overall at the end of your sport course. So who is this course suitable for? So the sport course is suitable for students who are committed to achieving a high grade, to achieving the very best they can. Students who are willing to work hard to achieve the very best grade they possibly can. They want to work as part of a team, because ultimately in the practical sports unit, you'll need to work as part of a team, as part of a sport, and actually you'll be leading a team too. You'll take on board feedback, you'll listen, and you'll want to improve further. And you'll use this feedback as a tool to be able to do this. And ultimately, you'll have a keen interest in sport. There are many different careers in this subject, and you can use this course as a springboard onto level 3 in 6th form or college. Careers in sport include going into teaching or coaching, a PE teacher being an obvious one, a sports coach, a primary school teacher, a play worker, or perhaps a lecturer in higher education. There's also sports development and management that you could go into, being a physical activity development manager, going into sports development management, community development, or perhaps doing something with outdoor ed. You could also go into media and marketing, things like sports journalism, a commentator. You can even look into events management or perhaps running a leisure centre. There's also the health and fitness side, so a fitness instructor, personal trainer, even someone that does stunts, a fitness education manager, or perhaps someone that promotes health and be a specialist in this area. There's also the science side of sport, so you could go into perhaps being a sport and exercise psychologist, looking at sports performance analysis and actually working with high-level clubs and analysing their performances and feeding back. Combining the science and the health and fitness, there's things like dietitians, there's things like exercise referral consultants, strength and conditioning, there's also things nutritionists and rehabilitation. And there's also other careers you can go into which sport can help, so the police, fire service, perhaps even sports law, or ultimately creating your own health and fitness business. And finally, hopefully we do see you next year in year 10. And if you do have any questions about the sport option at all, you can speak to any one of the PE teachers or just drop us a message on ePraise.